From Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
Tonight on News Hour, fire outbreak kills 3 in Kano, destroys Open University office in Jigawa State. Fanfare as 12th Emir of Katagum receives staff of office. Nigeria Railway Property Management moves to secure properties nationwide. Away from Nigeria, at least 19 people killed in Egyptian minibus accident. Hello and welcome to the News Hour on Trust Television. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for joining. And now the details. Kano State Fire Service has confirmed the death of 3 persons following an early morning inferno in Badume Market in Bichi local government area of the state on Friday. Saminu Abdullahi, the public relations officer of the service, said this in a statement in Kano. Abdullahi stated that 100 temporary shops were also consumed by the inferno. He said that the service received an emergency call from Bichi Fire Station at about 3:30 a.m. and immediately sent rescue team to the scene to stop the fire from spreading to other shops. 3 unconscious bodies evacuated were later confirmed dead and the corpses handed over to Bichi Police Division. Abdullahi added that the service has already initiated an investigation into the cause of the inferno. He advised the general public to switch off all electrical appliances, disconnect from source when not in use, and handle fire with care. Meanwhile, fire has gutted Administration Department of the National Open University of Nigeria at the Federal Secretariat Dutse, Jigawa State. The fire had destroyed all the office equipment and materials on the floor occupied by the Open University. Firemen from the State Fire Service were mobilized to the scene, but due to lack of firefighting equipment, the fire could not be put out. After about 30 minutes, personnel of the Federal Fire Service as well as Dutse International Airport Fire Service joined the firemen to put out the fire that was still raging at the 3rd floor of the building. The Open University Administration Office and Library are completely burned by the fire. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, on Saturday in Kaduna State displays voters' register for the 2023 general election at Tudunwada and Doka in Kaduna North and Kaduna South local government area of Kaduna State. Few prospective voters were seen checking their names in the register. The report.
With the commencement of voters' register display in Kaduna, names were pasted at different wards and polling centers. Many people are, however, not aware of the display as few came out to check names. INEC made an announcement on the exercise and names were being pasted at different places in our ward, but few people came out to check their names. INEC official at Tudunwada, Kaduna explained more on the exercise.
Today is our first day here. People have started coming out. It's encouraging. Where people are coming here with the hope of collecting their permanent voters card, not knowing we are here to display the registers for people to come and view in case of any mistake or any correction or any omission of the cards. So that's the essence of the voters display.
The exercise will last for weeks to avail people the opportunity to raise observations or claims before new permanent voter cards could be distributed. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
In the meantime, the Independent National Electoral Commission on Saturday said the statement alleging that it is investigating the connection of the presidential candidate of the ruling All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, in alleged drug trafficking did not emanate from its office. The statement, which was allegedly signed by Festus Okoye, INEC's National Commissioner and Chairman of the Information and Voter Education Committee, had said that the electoral body is liaising with the Northern Illinois District Court to establish more facts on the case. Okoye, while reacting to the statement which has been in circulation, denied issuing such a statement and described it as a handiwork of criminal enterprise. Ahead of the 2023 general elections, the Adamawa State Police Command has warned against the destruction of facilities belonging to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. The command vowed that anyone caught will face the full wrath of the law. Already, the command has deployed its operational asset around the headquarters of the electoral body in the state and ordered a total clampdown on violators. The State Commissioner of Police, S.K. Akande, in a statement issued by the spokesman of the command, Suleiman Ngoroje, said that the deployment is to checkmate criminal activities around the area. According to the command, the deployment is to ensure surveillance to curtail criminal activities pursuant to the IGP's determination to provide a conducive atmosphere for the political process in the state. Ngoroje stated that the CP also directed the divisional police officers and their supervisory area commanders to immediately ensure strategic deployment of officers at INEC offices at their respective areas of responsibility. Still on the 2023 general election in Rivers State, the State Commissioner of Police, Effiong Okon, has warned against any form of violence in the state. Such violence, he said, include but not restricted to disruption of political rallies, destruction of billboards, as well as other politics-related crimes in the build-up to the 2023 election. CP Okon made the warning during a meeting with political parties and their candidates at the officers' mess in Port Harcourt. The report.
Addressing representatives of the political parties and their candidates during a stakeholders meeting in Port Harcourt, CP Okon urged politicians to advise the supporters not to indulge in any form of violence, as anyone caught would be dealt with in accordance with the law. The Rivers Police Boss assured that the police will be neutral in the discharge of their duty before, during, and after the election.
We cannot have a very successful and peaceful election if the campaigns are not devoid of violence. Let me say most emphatically that we will not condone any situation where political campaigns will be disrupted.
Some of the political stakeholders at the forum called for a level playing field that will ensure that the outcome of the elections reflect the will of the people. They also sought clarification on the position of the police with regards to the Executive Order 21 of the state government. Responding, CP Okon advised political parties who have issues with the order to approach the court for redress.
What is the position of the police force on Executive Order 20? I think at the end of the day, it's designed to stop us from campaigning, and it's designed to stop us from having access to people.
But I believe that we need to work together as a group. The Interparty Advisory Council with security agencies need to sit together and discuss. And then finally from me, sir.
They said, okay, you better enter house. So I said, why will I enter house? I have to come out and liberate my people. Then the guy drove off. I don't know him. So I want to know how safety are we?
We noticed that one of the billboards belonging to my party, the National Rescue Movement, at Nkwogu roundabout, had been defaced very carefully. You know, they did it very carefully. They were in a hurry. The pictures are there. In fact, it's still standing till now.
In every democratic environment, there is separation of powers and checks and balances. And that is why sometimes people have to approach the court to challenge a particular order.
High point of the meeting was the signing of peace accord by candidates of political parties.
The Plateau State Police Command has paraded suspected criminals for kidnapping, vandalism, culpable homicide, and unlawful possession of firearms in the state. Parading the suspects at the headquarters of the command, the commissioner said that the suspects who confessed to the crimes were arrested following intelligence reports on the activities of the criminals. Ado Musa reports.
While parading the suspects, the commissioner said the command has put together various strategies to prevent crimes in the state. He said the police will not relent in ensuring that perpetrators face consequences of their criminal actions.
The successes recorded, particularly from Wase and the Buguri area, the areas will be having one problem or the other. We're able to get some of the criminals that have been disturbing us there, and we're able to neutralize one and recovered an AK-47 rifle with 8 rounds of ammunition.
Commenting on the woman that was abducted in Gimbi village of Wase local government area of the state, the commissioner said the police had arrested the kidnappers and had rescued the victim and her. He then warned the public to always be mindful of their surroundings, as most abductions were done with the connivance of an insider.
Well as the nursing mother with her 2-year-old daughter. It was a very big story in the town. And I just want to let you know that we are not just resting on our hours, we are working, and God being on our side, we are able to crack them. Apart from rescuing them on halt, they have been reunited with their families and they are living their normal life today.
One of the suspected abductors told newsmen that the victim was kidnapped because her husband allegedly stole 3 rams from them. We kidnapped the woman because her husband stole 3 rams from our house. So, initially we went to the house to kidnap her husband, but we couldn't meet him in the house. We then decided to kidnap the wife. The Plateau Commissioner of Police, however, advised public to report all suspicious movements and persons to the police and other law enforcement agencies to help rid the state of criminalities. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
The federal government has filed an amended 7 counts of terrorism charges against the detained leader of the outlawed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, at the Federal High Court in Abuja. This is coming after the Court of Appeal discharged Kanu of all the terrorism allegations, as well as appeals on the subject matter still pending before the Supreme Court. The amended charges were entered before the Federal High Court in Abuja and contained all earlier sustained allegations against the IPOB leader. Justice Binta Nyako of the Federal High Court Abuja has subsequently fixed next Monday for Kanu's team of lawyers and the federal government's prosecution team to address the court on whether the federal government could proceed to rearraign the IPOB leader on the amended charges despite the October 13 judgment of the Court of Appeal that freed him. The FG in the amended charges alleged that Kanu had issued a deadly threat via a broadcast heard and received across the country that anyone who disobeyed his sit-at-home order in the southeastern states should write his or her will. The corpse of a 24-year-old identified as LD Marcus has been recovered in the outskirts of Babale community of Jos North local government area of Plateau State. The body of the deceased, which was dumped in the bush, was discovered on Friday afternoon with his vital organs removed. The Plateau State Police Command confirmed the incident and told Trust TV that the efforts were being made to arrest the perpetrators of the crime. Ado Musa reports.
The killing of Marcus is coming barely 2 months after a 14-year-old Mariam Salisu was murdered in cold blood on the outskirts of the Babale village, with her vital organs also removed. According to a resident of the community, Marcus disappeared last Saturday, and all efforts to know his whereabouts were unsuccessful until Friday afternoon when his corpse was found in the nearby bush. Bulus Samuel, commander of the neighborhood watch in the Babale B, explained how the corpse was found in the bush. We saw some people whose up and down and movement suggested all was not well, and when we asked, they told us that they were searching for their brother who disappeared on Saturday. Before they came to us, We were already told that a corpse was found in the bush. We told them to go and confirm if the said corpse was that of their missing brother. And on getting there, they discovered that it was actually the body of their missing brother. Nafiu Idris, a commander of hunters in the community, expressed worry over the incident and called on the government to do the needful to ensure the security of the area. We are already in worry. This is the second time in a few months that people would just be killed for nothing. We are calling on the government to come to our aid. The residents of the community hope that with the trend of the killing of innocent souls in the community, the appropriate authority will rise up to the occasion to investigate the perpetrators of the ritual killings in the area and bring them to book. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Quite a sad one there. Now, Kwara State government said only the dredging of the rivers Niger and Benue will put a stop to the perennial flood crisis in some parts of the country. Receiving relief materials from the National Emergency Management Agency, Governor Abdurrahman Abdulrazak said that the flood disaster was also made worse by the impact of the opening of dams coupled with consistent torrential rains. The report.
Flooding in some part of Kwara State has become an annual tragedy with huge losses of both lives and property. And again, the National Emergency Management Agency is here to present relief materials to the affected victims.
I am glad to say that in line with the assessment conducted and some of the reports presented to the Parent Ministry Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari approved the release of 12,000 metric tons of assorted grains from the National Grains Reserve, Strategic Reserve, for distribution to all states of the Federation and the FCT.
Governor Abdurrahman Abdulrazak, represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Mamman Jibril, applauded the federal government's effort. He said the permanent solution to the perennial flooding is the dredging of rivers Niger and Benue, as well as the control of release of dam waters.
We want the NEMA to do or give us the proper solution to these problems. When you give compensation this year, at whatever level, whether from the federal or state level, next year you prepare for another one. And that's how we continue to prepare at an annual basis.
7 persons lost their lives and thousands of hectares of farmland were destroyed this year in Patigi due to the flood disaster.
Delta State government says it has recorded 22 new births at the various internally displaced persons camps in the state. Secretary to the state government and chairman of the Inter-Ministerial Flood Management Committee, Patrick Uka, who disclosed this in Asaba, said that the death rates were low compared to the previous years. The report.
Following the level of devastation that came in the aftermath of this year's flood, the Delta State government says it is grateful that its effect has not led to the loss of many lives. According to him, this year's flood is far more than what was experienced in 2021, but the proactiveness of the state government and God's intervention helped in managing the after effects. He revealed that although the state is still compiling records of the death in Patani, where some travelers lost their lives while traveling towards the Port Harcourt-Bayelsa Road, 4 deaths were recorded in Isoko and 1 in Ugbolu.
Delivery of about 22 babies in the different camps. Yes, we recorded some deaths. We're still compiling, but no death in the camp. We only recorded 1 death on a camp, and that has nothing to do with the flood. It was basically the personal event that the president has had before now. But in Patani, there are some travelers who were going through Patani, and I think about 10 of them lost their lives. Patani moving towards the Port Harcourt-Bayelsa end. Then about 6 indigents were lost in that area. In Isoko, we recorded about 4, and 1 in Ugbolu.
He also commended the private sector response to the flood disaster and called for the dredging of the Niger and Benue rivers as a precaution to NIMET's flood projection that 2023 would be more devastating.
But we thank God the response of a lot of private sector individuals and corporate organizations equally came to the aid of the state. I think that we should look at more on how we can stop this flooding, which of course everybody knows that dredging the river Niger and building another dam first is going to be one of the measures that can solve it.
Ukwa is hopeful that with proper preparations, the impact of floods would be minimized.
The Emir of Katagum, Umar Farouk II, has identified security and the welfare of his people as his priority areas during his reign. He has also called for prayers as the country goes into another set of elections to ensure a peaceful and acceptable exercise. The Emir stated this after receiving his staff of office from the Bauchi State Governor. Adamu Imam was there.
The ancient city of Azare in Katagum local government area of Bauchi State was agog as people from all walks of life gathered to witness the presentation of staff of office and oath of allegiance by the State Chief Judge, Justice Rabi Umar, to the 12th Emir of Katagum, Umar Farouk II. The Emir promised to be just and fair in his leadership.
Are all grateful to your esteemed presence. I was appointed Emir of Katagum on 30th December 2017. Soon after that, we set up our development agenda, highlighting our priorities. These include security and the well-being of our people, education, health, job creation, poverty alleviation, and the most important, 100% support to your government.
The state governor, Bala Mohammed, maintained that traditional institutions has a major role to play in securing the country, hence the need for it to be an agent.
Our traditional rulers should activate the traditional security system whereby strangers or suspicious movements are reported to them, and they would in turn conduct investigation to ascertain the motive of the strangers or suspicious movement so that security could be nipped in the bud.
More than 60 traditional rulers and dignitaries, including Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar, as well as presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, were in attendance. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
You're watching the News Hour on Trust Television. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at Makurdi residents lament economic downturn. Details of this and more after the break.
Ba a iya sutura da abinci jin daɗin duniyar mu ya ƙare. Za ka iya more rayuwarka da kayan alfarma na kamfanin Vento Furniture kamar su Ladi Corner Sets, Escape Sofa Sets, Acadia Sofa, Piano Sofa Sets, Sofa Corner Sets, Vento Sofa Sets. Sannan kuma za ku iya saka ƙayatattun gadaje na alfarma a ɗakunan kamar su Gold Cream Bedroom Sets ko kuma ku wadata falon ku da kujeru na alfarma irin su Sare Royal Set da Acadia Dining Sets. Ofishoshin ku kuwa za ku iya saka manya-manyan kujeru na kece raini domin walwala da jin daɗin ku da abokan hulɗa. Kamfanin Vento Furniture ya tanadar muku gadajen bacci na yara masu inganci, kayan ɗaki irin na angwaye da amare har ma da sarakuna. Muna da shagunan mu a gurare kamar haka: 79 Allen Avenue, Ikeja, Lagos; 7A Azikiwe Road, Port Harcourt; 25 Glover Road, Ikoyi, Lagos; Shop U1 Jabi Lake Mall, Abuja; da kuma 4330 Walker Road, Windsor, Ontario ga mazauna ƙasar Canada. Vento Furniture mun zagaye ko ina.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
Welcome back. You're watching the News Hour on Trust Television. Here's a look at our top stories again. Fire outbreak kills 3 in Kano, destroys Open University office in Jigawa State. Fanfare as 12th Emir of Katagum receives staff of office. Now, driving in Abuja could be fun, but not anymore because of recklessness. Motorists have on several occasions been called upon to desist from committing traffic infractions while plying the busy roads in the Federal Capital Territory. Trust TV's Kabir Lawal reports on how motorists that violate traffic rules can be made to pay a price, thereby reducing the menace to the barest minimum.
Plying the roads in Abuja can be as many as one could imagine. Violation of traffic rules is common often in the presence of law enforcement officers. Head of Public Relations of the Directorate of Road Transport Service, Kalu Emetu, said the call for drivers to respect traffic rules has become necessary in view of its frequent violation.
Now somebody sees a red light, traffic light showing red, and he's speeding. Something is wrong. And such person is supposed to be subjected to such tests. And that is one of the things we are doing. We have been taking so many vehicle drivers to psychiatrists. We've taken them to such people who evaluate their mental stability. All these things are to ensure that people behave normal.
He said that the Directorate will soon commence aggressive enforcement against route violation, warning that the Directorate will not fold its arms and allow motorists engage on reckless driving on the roads.
You don't have to operate or pick passengers while on the roads. You have to clear, enter designated areas, which is the garage we talked about. When you make use of all these facilities provided for this kind of services, that is when government will say yes, people are making use of the infrastructure they've provided.
Road users called on drivers with penchant for traffic rules violation to be law-abiding at all times to make the roads more safer and also park in various designated centers.
The little advice I have for reckless driving in Abuja is at least some drivers don't have good tires. That's one of the good things about it. They don't have good tires. They don't care about the tires they have in their car. So sometimes it fails. And one of the reckless driving, Abuja have a very good road. They have a very good road network. But the driving of a thing is, some people don't even know how to use the lane.
Them is that they should be careful and they should be focused and they should be patient whenever they are on the route. Whenever they are on steering, they should be patient. Patient is the only thing.
Kalu Emetu further revealed that punitive measures will be imposed against traffic offenders, endangering lives of other motorists by driving recklessly.
No matter how you treat them, they will always operate on the road. We always have answer for them. These are the people who impound the vehicle. Impounding the vehicle is when we have explained to them the reason why they have to operate inside the garage. Like telling them when you go in there, you ensure that there is orderly on our roads. When you go in there, you are contributing, having a good environment where people will say yes.
About 32,617 people have lost their life to road crashes in Nigeria since 2016 till date. And according to sources, most of these accidents in Nigeria are fatal. Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Nigerian Railway Property Management Company is making moves to reclaim landed property belonging to Nigerian Railway from people who encroached on such lands nationwide. Managing Director of the Railway Property Management Company, Timothy Zalanga, while inspecting some areas in Kaduna where people illegally occupy their properties, said that the move will ensure railway properties are safeguarded, especially as the government is trying to revive the sector. Bello Musa reports.
Inspecting some of the affected areas in Kaduna where people encroach on the railway property for years, Zalanga wondered those claiming ownership of the railway property to desist from such claims.
I'm sure all of you who are quite aware that railway is one of the largest property owner in Nigeria. And over the years, these lands are gradually beginning to get out of sight, out of records. The good thing about railway land is that it is well accounted for. You can see the extent. We have all the drawings of railway line nationwide, so you can't run away from it. It's only that over the time we have been taking it a little bit low profile, but now we're ready for the big fight.
According to him, apart from individuals, government agencies are some of the culprits encroaching on the railway property.
So that is the major challenge that we have dealing with government agencies. It's very easy when you deal with individuals, be able to determine the extent of encouragement. Now, we can't say for sure for now, because what we can tell you is that on paper, we know the extent of railway land nationwide.
Some of the areas visited in Kaduna include Birnin Yaro, Kakuri, Monday Market, Abakpa, Sabon Tasha, and Television Garage. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Nollywood film producers and actors have been cautioned against the desecration of the hijab and niqab worn by Muslim women. A Muslim group, Ta'awunu Human Rights Initiative, faulted a Nollywood movie titled Osuomi for depicting Muslim women in a bad light. The Director General of the group, Suleiman Tadese, frowned at the National Film and Video Censors Board for allowing the movie to go into circulation. In the movie, popular Nollywood actress Kemi Afolabi plays an adulterous married Muslim woman despite wearing the veil. Suleiman said that the manner the movie portrays the evil which is part of dressing of Muslim women was very disturbing and unacceptable. The group called on Theatre Arts and Motion Pictures Practitioners Association of Nigeria to compel the producers of the movie to remove it from all viewing platforms and apologize to Muslims for the embarrassment. Hubbari, where the legendary Sheikh Usman Danfodio was buried, is one of the historic sites in Sokoto State. It was originally the residence of late Danfodio, which his son Sultan Muhammadu Bello built for him after the jihad. The remains of the renowned Islamic scholar and some members of his immediate family were laid to rest in the historic place. Now, Hubari now attracts Fulani pilgrims from far and near who made it tradition to visit the place in a lifetime. In this report, Yushau Adamu finds out why Fulani visit this historical place. The report.
Over 200 years after the demise of late Shehu Usman Dampodio, Hubari remains a busy place as hundreds of Fulani from the nooks and crannies of Nigeria and beyond troop to this historic site to visit the tomb of the renowned Islamic scholar. Fulani are coming to this place every day, but they mostly come during Eid al-Kabir, Eid al-Fitr and Maulud festivities. While regular visitors are allowed to visit the tomb and other historic sites on their own, first-timers are being conducted round the places by the custodians of the house. However, only male visitors are allowed to enter the room where the tomb of the famous Islamic scholar is located. This is my 12th trip to this place. This is my 5th year, and there is a year I visited this place 4 times. This kind of visit is sunnah as said by the Holy Prophet, and because Shehu Usmanu is among the respected Muslim clerics, Fulani visit his tomb. Visitors are expected to perform supplications for the late Islamic reformer and the rest of Muslim Ummah. To some Fulani, a visit to Hubari is as important as pilgrimage. From Sokoto, Yushau Adamu, Trust TV News.
With less than 7 weeks to the 2022 Christmas, marketers across Nigeria are lamenting low patronage as inflation continues to take its toll. The markets that are supposed to be bubbling with traders and buyers, as was the tradition during festivities in the country, is witnessing unprecedented economic challenge. In Makurdi, Jimmy Azande was at the high-level market to assess the situation.
Usually on a day like this market will be congested to the brim with human and vehicular movements trying to make purchases for the coming festivity. But with economic downturn, residents say they are now only bothered with how to feed their family and attend to pressing issues.
They don't finish us. Now die we they die, you sit down for market for morning till night. We know they sell shishi. As we come, that's how we go. We go sit down for 1 hour, 2 hours. I never see person say pam pam because of the costly price of things in the market.
The normal price of gold then it was 30,000. That is the biggest gold, but now you won't see a big gold for 30,000. If you are saying it's about 50,000 and 60,000 above. Chicken then it was highest during festive period. You will see a chicken of 3.5 that is reasonable. Now you can't see a chicken of 3.5 that is reasonable. Unless 7,000.
The traders also lamented poor patronage. To them, it has never been this bad. This has led to the closure of many shops as some can no longer cope with shop rents and taxes.
As of last week, local rice goes for 30,000. As of yesterday, it goes for 33,500 as of yesterday. Oil, King's oil goes for 6,600 as of last week. Presently, we are selling for 7,300 based on the increment of market. So the Semovita, which people were managing, was sold for 6,400 before, as of last week. Presently, we are selling for 6,700.
They pray and hope that the crop of leadership in 2023 will change the situation for good. They said the prices of items like foodstuff and textiles have skyrocketed beyond the reach of ordinary Nigerians.
So even eat on daily basis is a very big task to parents. And so I want to advise the government to do something to this economy.
It is obvious that people are reacting to the harsh economic reality in the country, which has gotten worse due to the recent flooding coupled with.
Now, as farmers across Jigawa State prepare for this wheat farming season, the effect of flood high cost of fuel and inadequate seeds may likely affect wheat processors across many parts of the state. In this report, Trust TV's Northwest correspondent Idris Jibrin visited some wheat farming communities in Jigawa as farmers prepare for cultivation to recover the loss occasioned by the recent flood disaster.
Wheat farming season is here again. Mustapha Usaini and many other farmers have been looking forward to this moment. But this year, the wheat farming harvest has been poor, and most farmers hope to recover their loss from wheat.
Actually, I want to plant wheat here. Last year I did it and I enjoyed it. So this year I want to do it too. But we need government to help us with seed and also fertilizer.
Abdullahi Wami in Varanda village of Jigawa State is harvesting his rice to prepare for wheat cultivation. He says the flood disaster this year has significantly affected his output and that the wheat farming may also be threatened by a number of challenges.
This year the flood disaster has destroyed most of our farm produce. So I'm clearing my farm so that I can plant wheat. But then there is challenges of planting a wheat. We need enough water, we need seed, we need fertilizer. But according to the Wheat Farmers, Processors and Marketers Association of Nigeria in Jigawa, federal government is expected to provide seed and other inputs that will assist wheat farmers across the state.
Most of our farmers, because they have experienced these floodings this year, lands have been so much inundated by flood. And to make the land prepared, it takes more time because it's still very wet. Most of the suitable areas have been consumed by the flood, and we have to allow the water to recede and then start preparation. The preparation actually is to clear the rubbish of the previous crop produced, and then maybe start tilting the soil. And as you can see from here, most of the land are almost ready for wheat farming, but the remnants of the crops are still being harvested. Farmers are trying to clear the land, took away most of the crops produced, and then start tilting.
With the significant loss incurred by farmers owing to the flood disaster this year, these people are hoping that wheat farming season will help them recover, but certainly not a solution to the much anticipated food crisis across the country. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Jigawa.
Vice President Yemi Oshibajo and other dignitaries, including governors, on Saturday attended the funeral service of the mother of Ondo State Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, held at the St. Andrew's Anglican Church in Owo. In attendance at the church service of the late Lady Evangelist Grace Abosede Akeredolu were the All Progressives Congress presidential flag bearer Bola Tinubu, Governors Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State, Boyega Oyetola of Osun, and Dapo Abiodun of Ogun State. Others included former governors of Osun, Cross River, Ondo, Ogun, and Ekiti State, Chief Bisi Akonde, Donald Duke, Olusegun Memiko, Senator Ibikule Amosun, and Dr. Kayode Fayemi, among others. While speaking at the occasion, the Vice President said that having served God all of her life, raised her children properly, and impacted many others from far and near, the late Lady Evangelist Grace Akeredolu's life was worth emulating. While praying to God to bless her memory, he conveyed the condolences of President Muhammadu Buhari to the Akeredolu family and the people of Ondo State. You're watching the News Hour on Trust Television. We'll take a short breather, and when we return, the news continues. Join us again.
That's right.
Welcome back. This is the News Hour on Trust Television. Elsewhere, Kogi State government says it is set to expand business relations with the Chinese government as the state aims to achieve 591 billion naira annual internally generated revenue. Governor Yahaya Bello made this known at a dialogue meeting on industry and trade with Chinese entrepreneurs at the Chinese embassy in Abuja. Addressing the entrepreneurs, Bello said that the government of Kogi State was ready to engage the Chinese business community to expand business and investment opportunities with China. Bello, who also said that there was the political will to attain the desired collaboration, pointed out that he shared a lot of ideology with the people of China, politically and personally. The Chinese ambassador to Nigeria, Hu Jianxun, who recalled his recent visit to Kogi State, expressed confidence that with the cooperation between the leadership of Bello in Kogi State and the government of China in the coming years, a lot will be achieved, particularly in power plants and nuclear energy.
I have that political will to continue to engage China and Chinese to ensure that all the benefits that are available for us, we take the full benefit of it for our people. There are several areas we can engage ourselves. They are all available. We have the institutional framework ready to engage, and we have the authority to engage and get things done as quickly as possible.
We have traveled to more than 12 states in Nigeria, and Kogi State is very special to me because Kogi State is one of the places to build a nuclear power plant. We are lacking power, so also we lack a lot of infrastructure there. And I had the opportunity to talk to the governor that how can we do things together, because Kogi State is very special. So I think that if China, Nigeria, if we work together, we can improve not only the material condition, it's very, very important to build our strengths to develop this country.
Let's now take a look at business updates as presented by Chiamaka Nwafo.
The Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) says it will hold an engagement session with stakeholders on the 5G spectrum on November 15, 2022. Director, Public Affairs NCC, Ruben Muoka, in a statement on Friday, said the proposed plan to issue 2 more 5G licenses is gathering steam, hence the need to enlighten stakeholders on the draft information memorandum that will guide the process. An information memorandum provides accurate details about the business history, current position, and projected future growth to attract prospective buyers and investors. In December 2022, NCC will conduct the second round of auctioning for 5G spectrum. Last year, MTN and Marfab Communications won the first leg of the process. According to the Commission, stakeholders have been advised to study the information memorandum and make their comments and questions available to the Commission. Nigeria has for the 5th time lost its case in the long-running OPL 245 court case in Italy. On Friday, the appeal court in Milan, Italy, rejected the country's request for $1.1 billion compensation from Shell and Eni, the 2 energy giants that brought the oil block of Malibu Oil and Gas Limited in 2011. The Nigerian government had alleged that there was corruption in the deal, leading to a number of criminal trials in Nigeria and Italy. The Milan Appeal Court rejected Nigeria's civil claims and promised to make its reasons public within 90 days. Nigeria has sued JP Morgan Bank for $1.7 billion for allegedly failing in its duty of care when it transferred the payments by Shell and Eni to Malibu Oil and Gas Limited between 2011 and 2013. Meanwhile, Shell, an international oil company, has reacted by disclosing that it was pleased with the dismissal of the case, adding that Shell or its former employees have no case to answer. And finally, in stocks, a total turnover of 1.101 billion shares worth 11.714 billion naira in 15,697 deals was traded this week by investors on the floor of the exchange. The financial services industry, measured by volume, led the activity chart with 859.019 million shares valued at 6.691 billion naira traded in 8,157 deals. The conglomerates in the oil and gas industries were second and third. The oil share index and the market capitalization depreciated by 0.68% to close the week at 43,968.75 points and 23.949 trillion naira. While 27 equities appreciated in price during the week, 36 others depreciated in price and 94 remained unchanged. And that's it on Business News. I am Chiamaka Nwafo.
And now, away from Nigeria, the Egyptian Health Ministry says at least 19 people were killed and 6 injured on Saturday when the minibus they were traveling in overturned in the country's northern Nile Delta. The minibus tumbled into a canal in Dakhalia province, the ministry said. It was badly damaged and its windows were shattered, according to an AFP photographer at the scene. Police have condoned of the site as a crowd gathered to watch the rescue efforts. Egyptian media outlets reported the accident was caused by a malfunctioning steering wheel. Without elaborating, traffic accidents are common in Egypt, where roads are often poorly maintained and driving rules flouted. And in sports news, Super Eagles head coach Jose Peseiro released his list for the prestige friendly against his native country, Portugal. A day earlier, his Portuguese counterpart Fernando Santos rolled out his own list for the game and the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. Talismanic captain Cristiano Ronaldo will lead the former European champions' attack against the Super Eagles, with the likes of Rafael Leo, Bernardo Silva and Bruno Fernandes also expected to play. However, Peseiro has a powerful strike force that will scare Portugal. The quartet of Victor Osimhen, Terem Murphy, Ademola Lookman and Paul Onuachu have scored a combined 37 goals for their respective clubs this season. Now, before we go, here is a kicker. Young climate activists at COP27 discuss loss and damage financing and also demanding for climate justice for the Global South in solidarity with the Global North. Let's take a look.
I was inspired to see so many people were interested in the Big Five when I went to Serengeti National Park, and when we saw the animals, so many people were there in safari cars, so it interested me to write a book so that a lot more people around the world would know about the Big Five. telling people and leaders here that are here in COP27 to start keeping our environment safe and stop being greedy to us, because we are the future generations, so we should be safe and protected with the good environment and good climate.
We want actions. If there is actions, if there is compensation, we want leaders to us the money, the 100 billion they talked about, because we are tired of the words, the promises and everything. Adaptation and loss and damage might be possible for them, but we don't see that on ground.
The reason I came here is to advocate for clean air and air pollution, because I've been into the projects even before coming to COP. And what I hope to achieve is that we want the government, we want delegates to understand that we need clean air in our environment, and air pollution is killing the youth and the old.
We've had deliberate engagement on loss and damage. We've had deliberate engagement on finance. We've even had demonstrations on loss and damage, demanding for loss and damage finance now, and also demanding for climate justice for the global south in solidarity with the global north.
Well, ending the news hour on an inspiring note there. That's our news for tonight. In case you've missed, if you can catch up across all our social media platforms, and also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for watching.